Best part? The money can be in your bank account as soon as the next day. When you need fast cash help, go to getcash.com. That's getcash.com.
Water is something that many of us take for granted, both when drinking it and using it in our daily lives. In fact, researchers estimate that chronic dehydration can be linked to a 15-year shorter life expectancy in some cases. Over 60% of our body is made up of water. While food can supply some of the water we need, it's easiest and most common for us to drink the water we need. Most women need 2.7 liters a day, and most men need 3.7 liters a day. Don't want to measure or count ounces? Just look at the color of your urine. Pale yellow indicates adequate hydration. With Your Body, I'm ABC's Dr. Jennifer Ashton.
Rely on us for complete news coverage. We're News Radio KONP, Port Angeles Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. He was not only the longest-lived U.S. president, it meant he had a lot of time, and a day after former President Jimmy Carter died at 100, people are reflecting on the choices he made on what he did with all that time. Presidential historian and ABC News contributor Mark Updegrove.
He spent 44 years of his 100 years as a former president, the longest post-presidency in American history. That's where he really made his mark as a humanitarian.
Physically, actually swinging hammers to build houses for the needy with Habitat for Humanity, and through the Carter Center, wiping out diseases and doing more globally. South Korean officials have recovered the cockpit voice and data recorders from the crashed Jeju Airlines flight that killed 179 people. In South Korea, ABC's Britt Clement.
What we do know, according to South Korean officials, is that 9 a.m. on Sunday, it was issued a warning of a potential bird strike. 2 minutes later, it issued a Mayday call. And here's where it gets interesting, because then the plane makes an unusually quick 180-degree turn. Now, certainly investigators will be looking into why that decision was made. Then, of course, as we know, crashed moments later.
Where the year ending leaves lives lost and destruction from the weather in Texas and elsewhere.
The Alvin tornado first struck Brazoria County, where this man thought it was a typical thunderstorm until
it was so loud and intense.
The twister then crashed into Alvin, tearing up homes, knocking out power, and taking the life of 47-year-old Jamie Brown, wife to Staffney Brown.
I'm devastated. I don't know what else to do. I mean, I can't do nothing but pick up and go on.
The same tornado outbreak killed 2 people in Mississippi and 1 in North Carolina. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
The fund reimbursing victims of Bernie Madoff's legendary Ponzi scheme has begun its 10th and final distribution today. Another $131 million in the pockets of swindled investors. You're listening to ABC News.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
With less than 24 hours until revelers pack New York's Times Square, officials from the NYPD say they will be ready to go with an increased police presence to manage them.
At this time, there are no specific credible threats to the Times Square New Year's Eve celebration. However, we have been operating in a heightened threat environment since October 7th, and we remain vigilant.
NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch. Ford is recalling the electric version of the country's most popular vehicle.
The Lightning is Ford's all-electric take on the F-150 pickup truck, and now the company is recalling just under 12,000 of those EVs. The concern is that a control arm in the truck could detach and cause it to lose steering. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says dealers will fix the problem for free once owners are notified, which it says should happen by early February. The recall affects Lightnings made during the 2023 and 2024 model year. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
The CDC reporting a jump in norovirus cases in some parts of the country. Cases of the severe stomach bug jumped more than 30% between the end of November and the start of this month. In some cases, it can be fatal. Doctors recommend washing your hands with soap, drinking clean water, and paying attention to food safety regulations to fight norovirus. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
The new Salish Trails RV and Campground, formerly the KOA, at 80 O'Brien Road in Port Angeles is open year-round. Currently, we're offering long-term stays until spring, and cabins are rent one night, get your second night free until the end of February. Visit SalishTrailsCampground.com for more information or to book. If you call us to book your reservation and mention this ad, you'll get 10% off your stay. Happy holidays from Salish Trails RV and Campground.
This is Pepper with your KONP News headlines, brought to you today by McCrory Carpet One. Always priced right, always done right. McCrory Carpet One. A cold case that rocked the Port Angeles community in the 1980s has been solved thanks to the latest DNA technology and decades of work on the part of investigators. Local law enforcement finally figured out who assaulted two young girls in 1988 in Port Angeles. And there's an effort in Washington state to introduce a bill to designate an official state mushroom. We'll talk to a local expert and tell you which mushroom it is. Get your news on our website at myclallamcounty.com.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Slight chance of rain showers this afternoon. Otherwise, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Highs level off around 50. Winds out of the east around 5 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies again tonight. Lows dip down to about 35. Chance for isolated rain showers tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 43. Cloudy skies expected. Temperatures near average Wednesday and Thursday with highs in the mid-40s. Showers possible both days. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 48 Friday, 48 Saturday, and 46 on Sunday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 48 degrees.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
Well, it's not Todd, it's Amanda, but I am filling in for Todd today. I've been informed I only have to fill in one more day, which is today, and then he'll be back after the new year. So as long as I don't get taken off the air by the FCC in the next hour, I made it.
You're good to go.
I did it. And, you know, we're talking about a pretty racy topic here on the Todd Ortloff Show in the next hour. So hopefully I don't say anything that could get me in trouble. We're talking about plants.
Whoa. Yeah.
In fact, I was so excited about today, I wet my plants. The oldest joke in the book, and I still use it every time. I get to talk to the Master Gardeners today about this really great series that's coming up. And Judy English, you're, a standby, always here at the end of the month. We just know that our day is going to be brighter at the end of the month because you're going to be here. And you brought guests.
We have guests today, and the program that they have put together for this coming year on the Home Orchard series is what it's called, is fantastic. So I started about almost 2 months ago talking with Keith and Tom and Kendra and other people about having them on the show. And then I got to see all the different classes and workshops that they have put together for this program. I am so impressed. I mean, I've been a master gardener. I've been futzing around in with dirt and trees and plants for years and years and years, my whole life. And I am over the top about this program. So let me give you a little background about these two people who have been the leads on putting together this whole program. Keith Decker and Tom Del Hotel. Close enough. Everything is capitalized. I do know that. Anyway, they have been in horticultural field for the last 50 years, maybe more. A long time.
Wow.
A long time. We were saying before we came in here that when you say 1980, it doesn't seem like it was that many years ago. But anyway, it's been a long time ago that they started in their individual fields, the same field. And Keith has lived Chicago, Colorado, and then moved to the Pacific Northwest about 30 years ago. And he has been in greenhouse, garden centers, landscape maintenance companies. 33 years ago, he moved to the Pacific Northwest and has been involved in the commercial side of horticulture all that time up here. And one of his really favorite things to do is pruning.
Yep.
And certainly with home orchards, you get to do a lot of that. So he can speak to pruning very thoroughly.
Does that make you a cut above the rest?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I'm thinking about branching out.
Oh, God, this is going to be a long hour for everyone.
Oh, okay. And Tom has
I'll leave you alone.
Leave me alone. Oh, I don't have any great comebacks to this at all. I'm just going to have to do it straight. Tom's been a nurseryman since 1976. He's a certified arborist. He's been an instructor for 20 years, a certified arborist for 20 years as well. Had his own orchard management company in San Diego, and then came up here. Let's see. Also, I should say that Keith has been a master gardener since
2017 here in Clallam County.
Wow. And Tom since 2021 up here. And before he moved up here, and he was living in San Diego area, and he was teaching some of the master gardener classes down there. So talk about two people that have a wealth of experience, and they have, with the help of others, but they have certainly been the leads on this program that we're going to be doing in 2025. You notice I said we. I get to do that because I'm a master gardener, not that I'm going to be teaching anything. But, they are co-leaders, Tom and Keith are co-leaders of the Woodcock Demonstration Garden. So a whole nother set of responsibilities, and if you haven't been out there, you should go there on Woodcock Road. It's a delightful place to visit. So let's get to what they're going to tell us about.
So Keith, let's start with you, just because you were kind of telling us how this whole series came to fruition.
Oh, okay.
Fruition.
Yes.
I promise I won't keep doing it.
We'll run out of puns after a while. So last year, well, was it this year? It was this year, early this year.
March of 24.
March.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was March 2nd. It was a really cold, crummy day. It was spitting a little bit of rain, a little bit of snow. And we set up a workshop at the Woodcock Demonstration Garden on a Saturday. And the subject was going to be home orchards, how to prune a tree, a fruit tree, how to care for a fruit tree, what kind of tools to use, blah, blah, blah. So we were expecting maybe, 24 people might show up. 125 people showed up. We had to park them on gravel and such because the garden gets pretty soggy in the winter. So we were careful about that. They sat on these cold folding chairs outside and listened to us drone on about tools and diseases and so on and so forth. And nobody left.
Wow.
And then we went into the orchard and we showed them, pruning and so on and so forth. So we said, wow, there is a need for this. There are a lot of people that want to come and learn about orchards. So that's kind of what started. That was the seed. And that's how we started talking about coming up with more classes.
So this is going to be a series that you're doing, right? I mean, this is kind of something different than what you've typically done?
Yes, absolutely. This series is going to run from mid-January all the way through June with various lectures and workshops. So there's something each month. There's these lectures are going to be held at the Dungeness River Center. Very nice place, a lot warmer than Woodcock Garden. You don't have to sit on cold chairs. The place is heated. It'll be nice. Indoor bathrooms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Parking.
Parking. Oh, my gosh. What a parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in and an out of parking. Yeah. So Pretty cool.
It's a nice place. It's a nice place. So, Tom, I'm going to get you to move that mic just real close to you so that we can hear your vast knowledge. Tom, what is your hope in this series that you hope people learn from? I mean, this is at-home stuff. This is more, the novice person who just has kind of at-home stuff. What do you hope people glean from this, and who's coming to this? Like, maybe I don't have an orchard at my house, but maybe I want to have some trees. Do I come to this?
This program is not just for people who want to put in an orchard, but trees of any number. One tree to 20, 30, 40, whatever they might choose. It goes beyond just the very novice knowledge, because so many things have changed over the decades. Keith and I have seen a lot of changes in knowledge. And there are still a lot of people who are practicing things that are outdated, or maybe that we can do better based on the research that's developed over the decades. A lot of the knowledge that people use to take care of their home orchards are based on commercial orchards. And in commercial orchards, the focus is production and cost. And so a lot of things are done with those two factors in mind, and it's typical for commercial orchards to be bulldozed and replaced every 20 to 40 years, which the homeowner doesn't want to do. Right. Fruit trees have lifespans ranging anywhere from 50 to 200 or more years in their lifspan, and there's no reason to think that your trees are too old to be productive in our lifetimes.
Wow. So commercial archers take them out so that they maintain a really high productivity and lower maintenance?
And low cost.
Okay.
For example, with pruning fruit trees, they're done with large lawnmower type tractors that have lawnmowers on booms, and no regard to the actual health of the trees when they're pruning them, because those things can be dealt with with pesticides and by replacing the trees, which is more cost effective than it is to take care of them properly. So
well, you mentioned something that is interesting to me, and I guess I've never really thought of it before, and I don't know why I wouldn't have, but we've learned a lot in the last couple of decades as far as pruning, you alluded to. So let's say someone has had trees, they maybe learned a little bit about it 30 years ago or whatnot, and they've kind of been going about doing their thing. Is this going to be for them too, so that they can maybe learn some new ways of tackling their home orchard, their trees, their pruning, more effective, cost-wise and maintenance-wise?
Absolutely. This program is geared towards teaching people better ways of caring for their trees, which reduce the maintenance of the trees as well as the time involved in caring for the orchard. Even though we may have been pruning trees for 30 years, we may not have been doing that in the best ways. Sure. And so those trees can be brought into better health and with less involvement on the individual's part to maintain them at a given size or productivity than is traditionally done. One of the programs that we are going to be doing is a lot of folks have large trees that have gotten out of hand. They're too large, they can't pick the fruit, they're hard to deal with, and one of the workshops we'll be teaching is how to bring those trees back into a manageable size. My focus for the past 50 years has been involved with fruit trees with California Rare Fruit Growers, and I see a lot of trees up here that are very tall, very large, and hard to pick the fruit, how to prune the trees, almost impossible to deal with the pests, and there's no need for that. Most families can't use all of the fruit that a full-grown tree will give them, and rather than having large 20, plus foot trees in your yard, for the homeowner, it's much more usable and easy to maintain if the trees are kept to a 12-foot size or so. One of the things that Keith and I have done at the Woodcock Orchard is brought our orchard down into a very manageable size. And although the trees were planted in the 1990s, those trees are all in the 8 to 12-foot range and will be maintained at that size indefinitely.
See, now that's interesting to me because I saw a cherry tree not too long ago and I thought, well, how come that one looks shorter and full of cherries and easily pickable, and the one that's in my backyard that was planted eons ago, I can't reach any of them. Well, the birds get them before I do.
Yeah, that's why people have cherry trees, so the birds are well fed.
Oh, clearly I've fed the neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, it happens in the early stages of that tree's life. If you do proper pruning early on, that tree won't get to be a monstrous size. You'll be able to pick the fruit. You'll be able to put netting over it so the birds don't get your cherries. It's a very manageable size, so that's what we're after. We're after manageable. You don't want to be on a tall ladder picking fruit.
No.
Too many years, your wife's going to be going, you need to get off that ladder.
I am 44 and you will not see me on a ladder.
Good. That's a good attitude. So short ladders are okay, but you still got to pay a lot of attention. There's an awful lot of accidents that happen off of ladders. Yeah. So we try to keep the trees in manageable, workable size. So you can prune them, you can harvest fruit, you can spray them if you need to, but you can care for them without worrying about how am I going to get up there to the top of that tree and get those.
That's amazing. See, these are things I had no idea that you could do, or that pruning was responsible for. In my mind, pruning is at the end of the season, you cut off the dead pieces and hope for the best the next year. Because I don't know much. But that's kind of what I've always thought pruning was done for.
Yeah. So there are reasons to prune. That's one of the first things, is there are reasons to prune. So fruit trees are pruned differently than, say, a landscape tree. You would not try to keep a Japanese maple at 8 feet by cutting the top off. That's going to ruin that tree. But a fruit tree, an apple tree, or a pear tree, you can do that. And then you maintain it at that height, and you prune it for fruit. So you want to understand how that plant is going to react to your pruning cuts. If I just go out there once a year and chop it down, the next year it grows back up, and then I chop it down in a year, and I feel like I'm just kind of running on a treadmill, and that you really are. You're not pruning for the reasons that you should be, and which is that tree needs to produce more fruit, it needs to be healthy, you need to make healthy cuts. What time of year do you make those cuts?
Yeah.
Do you use pruning sealant? All those things enter into it. So you want to have a reason and then proceed at the right time.
This is really interesting. I got to tell you, there's like far more to it than I could have possibly imagined. And this is a whole series that you guys are doing. So it's, there's class 1, class 2, and then a workshop, and then a class 3 and a workshop, and class 4 and workshop. I mean, this is like
extensive.
Yeah.
Really broad.
Your first question was, if I'm thinking about having a couple fruit trees, if I don't have any, is this for you? Well, the first class is how to start right.
Yeah.
And so what varieties would you plant here on the peninsula? What's the proper way to plant them? How to care for them when they're young? Do you just pop them in the ground and walk away? No, the deer will take care of that for you. All of these little things make a big difference in if you're going to be successful or not. So that first class gets into all of those questions.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk, kind of what these classes are, so that the people who are listening right now can understand how this class is going to progress, and the hands-on help that you guys are going to be giving in the direction. It's not just diagrams that you're going to be looking at. Which is how I learn, is hands-on. So this is fantastic. So stick around. We've got lots more coming up with the Clallam County Master Gardeners here on the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
The time of year we find ourselves in now is just cold, wet, possibly snowy, and, well, wintry. We spend so much time indoors that you're probably thinking a lot about your surroundings. A large part of those surroundings are your floors. For the flooring solution that will inject some new into your new year, TJ's Flooring in Port Angeles is a great start. The winter sale going on at TJ's include rolls and rolls in stock in their warehouse. This is the perfect time to weatherize your flooring with some brand new hardwood, laminate, or carpet. For years now, TJ's has breathed new life into so many homes with affordable solutions. After all, you can get the best flooring money can buy. But if installation and service aren't up to par, the whole project suffers. Let the pros at TJ's transform your space with beautiful new floors. Stop by the showroom and browse the warehouse for winter savings today. TJ's Flooring on Highway 101 East and Monroe Road, 360-670-5188.
Every second matters. When you or your loved one shows symptoms of a stroke, seconds matter. At Olympic Medical Center, we've been recognized with acute stroke certification, which means we're prepared the moment you arrive with stroke symptoms. For immediate, expert stroke care, trust Olympic Medical Center is always acute stroke ready. Learn more at olympicmedical.org/stroke ready.
This is Trevor Shumway from Firehouse Grill. We have some great news. We're dropping prices on our most popular items and not dropping quality. We're stubborn and wanting to provide the best quality possible. Hand weighing and hand smashing our burgers daily. Marinating our chicken in-house and hand breaded per order. Hand scooping every shake ordered. And have you tried our smash burgers yet? One of the best things we've done at Firehouse Grill. Come check us out. And I won't compromise on quality ever. Firehouse Grill Burgers and Fries on 8th Street.
Hi, this is Clallam PUD, and we have a few tips to help you through the winter and its potential for power outages. Be prepared by checking your flashlights and purchasing extra batteries. Stock up on non-perishable food and water. Have a plan for any medical devices that require power or medications that need refrigeration. If your power does go out, first check your breakers. If they're okay, then report the outage to us by phone or by using our Smart Hub app on your mobile device. Visit ClallamPUD.net for updates, to view our current outage map, and for tips and resources on outage preparation and safety.
Welcome back to the Todd Ortloff Show. I'm Amanda Bacon, filling in for Todd Ortloff today, and we are talking with the Master Gardeners about their upcoming pruning series. And I gotta tell you, this is a lot more exciting than I thought it was. I mean, not that it wasn't going to be exciting, because I always love having you guys here. But this is really exciting to think that there's stuff that I could learn to do in my own backyard that is fairly simple once you understand how to do it. And, you know, I'm not doing it on 48 trees. It would be on like 5.
Yeah. 5 and probably you could represent almost every fruit out there.
I could.
And the series walks you through the whole thing. I mean, through the year, during the time before you need to know it, so you need to know what you can do what you need to do.
That is a brilliant point. You're not doing all of these classes in January and then you have to try and retain this information until it's pruning time, because like I have said numerous times on this show, I retain water, not information. So I need to have these classes happening right before I need to do it. So let's talk about the classes. The first class is Home Fruit Trees, Starting Right. And this is going to be at the Dungeness River Center. This is a wonderful place in Sequim. If you haven't been to the new Dungeness River Center, it is outstanding. And there's room now for 120 people to come see this lecture, right?
Right. I think we're topping it at 100 per lecture, or are we 120?
You know what?
I don't think we'd kick you out if we got to 111.
Yeah.
We'd let you in there. We'd let you in there.
Nice. Yeah,
it's a big place. It's beautiful. It's all new. Everything works. You know, it's nice. It's a nice place.
Yeah, they have the AV facility there, so good visuals and good speaker system, very comfortable.
Mm-hmm. And the logistics of it, easy to get in, easy to get out.
Big parking lot.
Get there early and go for a walk on the walking trail.
Go see the river. It's right there.
Go see the river.
It's stunning.
I like right there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's incredible there. And so this is going to be kind of setting you up, figuring out what you need to know going forward. Class 2 they come to, and what are they going to learn on Class 2?
The second class...
I'm going to have you actually share mics with Keith. I'm not sure what's happening to that microphone. I think there's a short in it, and otherwise I would, if I knew,
Okay, so Class
Perfect.
1,
Yeah.
is really geared towards anyone wanting to plant any number of trees, 1 tree or more. Talks about proper pruning and checking for drainage. A lot of times people put trees in the ground and then wonder why they don't do well. And this will carry you through how to prepare the area and get ready to plant it. Class 2, we're going to be talking about...
That's the
winter pruning and dormant.
Yeah, Class 2 is going to be more geared towards pruning and general pruning of your fruit trees. So we'll be talking about the major amount of pruning that's done on fruit trees is done during the winter time, and you're pruning for structure so that the branches don't break. You're pruning for fruit so that you're not cutting off all your fruiting wood, as people will sometimes do when they're trying to keep their trees small. And we'll be teaching how to keep the trees of a manageable size. Every time we cut a tree, prune a tree, it's a wound that never heals. And we can either do a lot of damage that shortens the life of the trees and affects our fruit quality badly, or we can prune in ways that minimize those negative effects and keep our trees healthy, strong, and long-lived, as well as productive.
Yeah.
And Tom, do I remember that in fruit tree pruning, you want to keep it open on the inside so that the sun and air can circulate and get to the fruit and help the fruit as it's maturing?
2 of the important aspects in pruning fruit trees is getting light penetration into the tree as well as air circulation to reduce pest problems. However, certain types of trees have different pruning shapes for best production, with stone fruit, peaches for example, that are pruned into an open vase shape where the center kept very low and shaped like a bowl. Other trees like apples and pears keep a full center and are pruned to a central leader or a modified central leader shape, keep them smaller, but they're not kept as open in the center, which has problems as well as reduces the amount of fruit you'll get. So we will be discussing that on the class in terms of what kind of fruit trees are pruned into these different shapes and the fruiting wood as well as other aspects.
So then we've gone through these 2 classes, and now it's time for a workshop. This workshop, we actually get to get a little more hands-on-y, right?
That's right.
That's by the way, I made up that. Hands-on-y.
That's technical language.
You're welcome.
No. It's really fun because, like you say, if you learn by actually seeing things and touching things, that's a great way to do it. This first workshop is going to be held at the Lazy J Tree Farm.
Love that place.
Steve has a lot of fruit trees out there. He's going to let us do that at his place. And we will demonstrate winter pruning because it's going to be February. It's going to be winter. Great time. And this is when a lot of folks are out pruning their trees. They may not know why they're pruning them in the winter, but everybody else does it. So that's what they do. Are they cutting off the fruiting wood? Are they, doing it the right thing? We can actually show you with actual trees the right thing to do, how to use the tools correctly, how to get light penetration, and all those things.
I should ask you about a flowering tree that I have. It bears no fruit, but it's a beautiful flowering tree, and I feel like it needs to be pruned. And I look at it and I go, I don't know what to do with you. And then summer hits and I was like, I think I was supposed to do something to you. And then I go on. But neither here nor there.
Well,
It's not a fruit
there's
tree.
there's a lot of questions that people have when we're out there face to face, and we've got our hand pruners in our hands. We can go over a lot of those things too. It's not just, there are a lot of pruning techniques that work for fruit trees as well as ornamentals. Crossing branches, dead wood, that type of thing.
Yeah.
When is that plant going to bloom? Am I cutting off this year's blooms? All those questions. So we also can be pulled aside and answer other questions.
Pick your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Class 3, new tree planting and training, and pruning grapes and kiwi. We can grow kiwi here?
Yes, there are two types of kiwi that we can grow here. We can grow both the traditional fuzzy kiwi that we often buy in the grocery stores, as well as the hardy kiwi or argutas that are smaller fruit but have a thin edible skin, and they're like a large grape. They have a very sweet, delicious flavor. And if you have the right varieties, you can grow them successfully here in our area, Port Angeles, Sequim, and areas similar.
We've got kiwi growing at the Woodcock Demonstration Garden.
See, another reason to go.
I gotta
to
get
the
out
Woodcock
more.
Demo. You do.
I really need to get out more.
We can also grow both table grapes and wine grapes here, and one of the big problems that a lot of people have in growing them is knowing proper pruning on them. Where if you just let them go, they're going to be this big, enormous vine of tangled branches and very little fruit production. And if you look at commercial orchards, you can see that they are pruned with as much as 90% of the vine taken away every year. However, there are strategies and techniques that need to be followed, otherwise you'll be cutting off all your fruiting wood. So we're going to talk about that. We have a series of 6 trellises and espalier systems for grapes and kiwi at the Woodcock Garden now. That's brand new. We put those in 2024, and this is with the intent to show people how to properly grow and prune grapes and kiwi.
I'm flabbergasted. Kiwi. This is fantastic. And then workshop number 2 is kind of like a retelling of the first workshop, kind of re-going over everything. If you missed the first workshop, this is a great time to come back. If you went to the first workshop and you're like, I think I remember some of the things, but I might want to remember more, come to the second workshop. It's going to probably learn. It's like watching an old rerun of a TV show. You see something new every time.
Yep.
Right.
So this is an excellent opportunity to come back and get more hands-on learning and help and training. And then we've got...
Well, can I say one other thing about
absolutely.
that? And that is, the tree care community has really learned a lot about proper pruning from some researchers, Alex Shigo and Richard Harris. And throughout the world, these have set new standards for pruning street trees and shade trees for long life health production. Fruit trees, however, are viewed as a crop. And as a crop, they are a temporary value. So pruning them poorly and replacing them every 20 to 40 years is viewed a long time. All trees in reality fruit. It's just some trees we eat the fruit and some we don't.
Yeah.
Acorns, for example, people don't typically eat acorns, but the acorn is a fruit. So one of my passions has been, why are we treating fruit trees as second-class citizens and pruning them with poor practices that shorten their life, where we've learned better techniques for street trees and ornamental trees? We should apply those techniques to our fruit trees. And that's something that Keith and Gordon and I are all on the same page on. We applied those techniques we've learned based on this research to our fruit trees, and we're trying to teach people that just because you pruned your trees for 30 years,
right,
maybe you've pruned them not in the best way.
Yeah.
And there can be better ways that really help give them longer life and reduce the amount of work. Sometimes after pruning our trees correctly, we can walk up to the trees the next year and say, these trees don't need to be pruned.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you prune correctly, there's less work.
Oh, I like that.
You know, if you prune incorrectly, you are creating work.
Ugh.
So it really makes a difference what kind of pruning cuts you make.
Because all of us have so much extra time to be doing this.
Absolutely.
Let's take another quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the rest of the series and the other workshops that are going to be coming up with the Master Gardeners here on News Radio KONP.
Todd Ortloff now with a word for Olympic Peninsula title. They don't just have customers, they have raving fans. Yeah, for over 40 years, they've been earning the repeat business of their customers by treating them with respect, delivering what they promise, prioritizing the security of customers' funds and information, and always providing service with a smile. When it's time to choose a title company to close your transaction, opt for Olympic Peninsula Title and see for yourself why they've earned over 500 five-star reviews, and they've been voted best title company in Clallam County over and over again.
Season tickets are now on sale at Olympic Theater Arts. The 2025 season includes hit shows like Neil Simon's Fools, Dan Goggins' musical Nonsense, Gary Marshall's Wrong Turn at Lungfish, Eve Miller's Close the Door So It Can't Get Into Your Room, the powerhouse drama Inherit the Wind, and Agatha Christie's A Murder is Announced. In addition to these world-renowned titles, the 2025 season includes traditions from our own locally grown authors, such as the annual Lavender melodrama, New Works Showcase, a hysterical stage adaptation of Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, and added this year, the Olympic Peninsula Panto. Olympic Theater Arts produces up to 10 full productions a year, all acted, directed, and designed by your friends and neighbors. Support your community's efforts in the arts by purchasing season tickets or by becoming a member. Olympic Theater Arts, theater for your community, built by your community. Learn more at olympictheaterarts.org.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. A reminder among the reflections on former President Jimmy Carter's legacy a day after his death at 100. Add to a former leader of the free world and leader of global humanitarian efforts.
He was also the leader of our little community. He was the leader of our church. He was just the kind of leader that we need today.
Mr. Carter's niece, Kim Fuller, who runs the nonprofit Friends of Jimmy Carter. A state funeral is January 9th at the National Cathedral in Washington. As South Korean officials continue to investigate the explosive, deadly Jeju air crash, the two survivors, a man and woman, both flight attendants, continue to recover. Officials have ordered safety inspections of all Boeing 737-800 aircraft operated by the country's airlines. President-elect Trump has endorsed Mike Johnson to continue on as House Speaker amid opposition by some fellow Republicans. This is ABC News.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Slight chance of rain showers this afternoon. Otherwise, sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Highs level off around 50. Winds out of the east around 5 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies again tonight. Lows dip down to about 35. Chance for isolated rain showers tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 43. Cloudy skies expected. Temperatures near average Wednesday and Thursday with highs in the mid-40s. Showers possible both days. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 48 Friday, 48 Saturday, and 46 on Sunday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 48 degrees.
I understand that as our world becomes more automated, receiving personalized service from a real person is more meaningful than ever. I'm Dan Shappy, and as a farmer's agent, I know a thing or two about how to help you select the insurance you want so you can
protect what matters most.
Call 360-681-0696 to learn more and chat with me, a real person and experienced farmer's agent, today.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
You have a neighborhood auto parts store in Sequim ready to help. Such as when you're getting your trailer set up for the season, rely on A1 Auto Parts and Marine to keep your outdoor adventure on the road. Trailer brakes, axles, bearings, even a hydraulic hose fix. A1 Auto will custom make hydraulic hose while you wait. Find the experts at A1 Auto Parts and Marine to help keep your Northwest adventure moving.
I
Attention, shoppers of end-of-the-year bargains. You don't want to miss this. The After Christmas sale is happening now at Swain's. 20 to 75% off selected items all throughout the store. And while you're in, don't forget to get your free Swain's 2025 magnet with any purchase while supplies last. The year-end clearance sale is happening at Swain's through the 31st. Our store will close at 6 p.m. New Year's Eve and we're closed New Year's Day. Happy holidays from the Swain's family to yours.
This message is brought to you by the law firm of McMiniman and McMiniman, Port Angeles and Sequim.
Hi, I'm Clement County Sheriff Brian King. The holidays are joyful with family gatherings and parties. Here's a reminder to celebrate responsibly. If alcohol is involved, arrange for a designated driver, and remember, friends don't let friends drive drunk. Don't let holiday joy be ruined by drinking and driving.
The law firm of McMiniman and McMiniman, protecting you and your family since 1985.
This is Maureen from Olympic Peninsula Title. As the year winds down, I find myself reflecting on all that I am grateful for. To the amazing team that I get to work with every day, you help make the American dream of home ownership a reality for so many families every year, and you make the process smooth, easy, and dare I say, fun. Thank you for all that you do. And from all of us at OPT to all of you, thank you for another fantastic year. May your holidays be merry and bright.
Harper Ridgeview and Sequim Valley Funeral Chapel offer experience you can lean on and the compassion to ease your loss. Their job is to help families cope with loss of loved ones by removing the stress involved in planning funeral arrangements. All of the staff has a real heart for serving families and their needs in the most difficult of times. They truly realize the importance in what they're doing for the community. Sequim Valley Funeral Chapel and Harper Ridgeview Funeral Chapel in Port Angeles, the caring support you'll need in your time of loss.
All right, we are back with the Master Gardeners here on the Todd Ortloff Show. I'm Amanda Bacon, filling in for Todd Ortloff, and we have got Keith Decker, Tom Del Hotel. Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, and your mic works again. And also Judy English in studio with us today, and we're talking about this incredible new pruning series that they're be doing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about it. I can't even speak correct English. And so we're now talking about the different workshops and the different classes that you have, and we're at class number 4 out of this series, and there's 5 classes and 4 workshops.
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Wow.
It starts end of January 22 is when it starts, and it goes through the first week of June, so it's spread out. It's just awesome.
So let's talk. Okay, so now we're in April.
Mm-hmm.
And we're at class number 4, Best Cultural Practices for Fruiting Trees, Grafting and Budding. Tom, you're being pointed at. Evidently, you're the world-class grafter in the room.
He's the expert.
The class is going to be broken up into proper watering practices, fertilizing practices, mulching products to use, and how we can get the best performance out of our trees once they're planted and growing from age 2 to age 100. On top of that, we're also going to show some different techniques for grafting and budding that people can use for either producing their own trees at home if there are varieties that they'd like to have but can't find to buy. They can buy rootstocks or get plants and then graft those varieties onto them. If people at home have single trees that produce a poor quality fruit or fruit that they just don't like or are not productive trees, they can change the variety with budding and grafting techniques so that it can either be an entirely new variety or they can put multiple varieties onto a single tree.
This is wizardry. You're teaching wizardry and sorcery. This is like Hogwarts for plants. This is insane.
And it's really fun. If you'd like to see what we've done, we had a large Chehalis tree out at the Woodcock Demonstration Garden, right at the front of the garden area, where we have now put 30 different varieties of apples onto a single tree.
We call it the Franken tree.
This is incredible.
Yeah, so things really changed when Tom joined the local Master Gardeners because he brought all this knowledge with him. And we were talking about it. He said, we should graft this and we should try grafting that. And none of us had really done it. And so he said, well, let me show you. So he did a workshop. And I said, well, why don't we use that Chehalis tree? It was a tree I was taking care of. And so he did this workshop. And there was about 10 or 12 Master Gardeners attended. And we went, oh, this is cool. And so we put about 4 or 5 varieties on that tree. Well, then the next time we were able to, we did another 10, and then we did another 10. It makes you look at things differently. So if you were having to move, say, you had your favorite apple tree in the backyard, you love that apple tree. You can't bear thinking that you couldn't have that tree again.
Right.
You could take parts of that tree and graft it onto another tree in the place you're moving to, another apple tree. And you could have those same apples that you had on that other tree. It's an amazing thing. It works really well. So we've had out of...
Keith, I don't want you to be lying to me now.
Well, my nose isn't growing any more than it already has.
Incredible.
So, yeah, it's really fun. So you can graft...
So let's say I like Granny Smith's.
Yes.
And my boyfriend likes Fiji, and we don't have room for 2 trees.
You could do it with 1 tree and still get along.
Oh, well, with apples anyway.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So you could do the same thing with pears on a pear tree. Stone fruits, it varies because you can do plums and peaches and
Stone
apricots.
fruit being pitted fruit.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure I'm blonde.
You can't put cherries on a apple tree.
Sure, that's freak.
You can't
that's
put
freak talk.
pears on a plum tree, but you can do a lot of stone fruits on stone fruit rootstock. So it's really amazing, and Tom's going to be covering that on that class.
I can't believe that you're offering this for people to come see. This is insane.
Yeah, one other thing that it allows you to do is if you get too much fruit off of your one Granny Smith, for example, you can put an early season, a mid-season, a late season, all on that one tree. And in the space of one tree, get a much longer harvest period of different types of that type of fruit. So not so much all at once, but for a much longer season.
I literally feel like the dumbest human being in the world. I had no idea this was even possible. This is insane. I love this. Thank you, Todd, for taking today off. Fruit trees, disease, insects, and pests. Any moving thing with more than 4 legs I consider a pest.
Well, I've had some neighbors that have only had 2 legs, and they were kind
Thank
of
you.
pesty.
Fit in that category, too.
Actually,
Thanks, Keith.
I like insects. I've always liked insects
They
as a
bug me.
kid, and they're great. And if you understand the good ones and the so-called bad ones, you'll relax a lot more. Just having a few insects munching away on your tree is not going to kill it. Typically, they'll eat a few leaves and leave the rest alone. They might damage a little bit of fruit, but can you use all that fruit anyway? I mean,
yeah,
it's not that bad. It's better than covering your tree with a lot of pesticides.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And then having to wash it off and so on. Also, learning what time to use those pesticides if you're going to for the biggest effect and not wasting it or compromising the food. There's a lot to it. Those are all tools that you can learn in the process of orchard trees.
Well, we have about 5 minutes left, which just goes by like crazy. And we've got still another workshop that you have, the home fruit workshop, fruit thinning, summer pruning. I mean, there's so much that you guys are doing. So let's get to the nuts and bolts real quick. Tell people how they can sign up for this, how many classes they're mandated to come to, or how many they get to come to, the cost, all of that stuff.
So you can actually register for the entire series for $45, which is heck of a deal.
Heck of a deal.
Yeah.
We're talking 5 classes and 4 workshops. That figures out to a couple bucks.
And
here
wizardry.
And
You're
there.
teaching wizardry.
And magic.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is go to clallamgf.org, and on that first page, it'll start talking about the series. It'll say, click here, bink, there you go, and you register. You can also sign up for individual classes for $10 a piece. So if you don't, you go, oh no, I'm pretty much an expert, but I really would like to learn about diseases, insects, and pests. So you can sign up for that class, or you're only going to be here for that time of year because you're off in California in the winter and you come back for part of it. You can sign up for part of it. Again, you can also just Google Clallam County Master Gardeners. It'll bring up that website if you didn't catch it, but it's clallammgf.org.
And it actually works.
And it works. Yeah,
and it works.
It's a great website. It didn't always, back in the old days, but we have some wonderful folks that have been working hard, and it all works now. It's really great.
So I just need to make sort of a wrap-up comment about this series. This is probably the best series that I have seen come out of the Master Gardener program, Clallam County Master Gardener program, since I've been involved in 2005. That's a long time.
Wow.
And hence, I am so impressed with it. There's so much to learn. Grafting fruit trees sounds like, oh my God, how would I do that? Well, it's very doable. And it's a fun thing to consider, even though you don't have to have an orchard. You can have 2 trees in your backyard, and you want to have 5 varieties or whatever. So exciting. So if you have an interest in doing this, please go to the website, get signed up. And the background that Keith and Tom and Gordon Clark is the other guy that's is very much involved in this. The background they bring is so broad, so extensive. As Keith was saying, if you have a question, you're at the workshop or at a class, and you want to, at the end of the class, ask a question that's about an ornamental tree, they've got background that is just so exciting. So,
one more. My mind is just, could I literally do a tree that was like Bing cherries and pie cherries?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Okay, there you go.
My mind has been blown. Tom, you are a wealth of knowledge.
There's also a very fun way of planting 2 or 3 or 4 trees in a single hole, taking up the space of a single tree. So if you don't want to tackle grafting or want faster results, you don't have to have 3 or 4 whatever large trees that overwhelm you with fruit. You can plant them and maintain them in the space of a single tree.
Tom, you have a fantastic head of hair, and now I know why you do. It's because it's covering so much knowledge. That's where you keep all your grafting secrets. This is insane. You guys, sign up for this class, these classes. This is going to be incredible. I'm going to make sure to post the website on this podcast, and I will get this podcast up today before I run away for my New Year's break. But you guys, this is so cool. Thank you so much for coming in and talking about grafting and wizardry.
Let me just add one thing that we're going to do on February 1st. Jeanette and Audrine are going to talk about pruning blueberries at the 5th Street Garden. And let's see, do I know what time that starts? No, I didn't write that down. Anyway, you can go to that same website and see the calendar. And again, February 1, pruning blueberries.
That's a very popular thing.
Oh, very popular.
Jeanette and Audrine.
They're going to repeat that at
Lazy
J.
Oh, cool.
February 8th, I think it is. So,
yes,
but
it is.
You could go to both of them.
I love it. Well, Master Gardeners, thank you so much for coming in once again and hanging out with us today, teaching us all sorts of incredible things. That is going to put a wrap on the TO show for 2024.
Yes.
Tomorrow we are going to be preempted for a Huskies game, so we will re-rack and meet back here on the 2nd of January. We hope you have an incredible new year, and may all your grafting dreams come true.
Thanks.
Shenanigans are afoot at Caviar Jewelry in Port Angeles. Sharon, the bench jeweler and designer, is taking ownership.